So, what do cookies have to do with your digital citizenship waistband? Let's find out. So, I want to talk to you today about cookies on your computer, what they are, and how they tie into your privacy. To begin that discussion, I am kind of broad overview talking about digital citizenship. And a part of that is what about is your user data. So you have a citizenship, your accounts have citizenships, if you will, and data associated with those accounts. Now, it can be very confusing as to what data is collected and why is it even important. So I want to try to help clear that up just a little bit today. And we're going to talk about the subsection called cookies. So cookies are a little bit of information, or it's basically information, whether it's little or big, that tells a web hoster that links some sort of information to your computer. Now, for instance, let's say you go to Amazon and you add several items to your cart. Now, I'm sure there's different ways of doing this, but one way to ensure that when you get back on your computer and you go to Amazon, especially in the case when you have not logged on to Amazon, one way that they ensure that those items don't just leave your cart or when you leave that page is by using cookies. And so it's a little bit of information that is sent back to Amazon, and it tells Amazon, hey, this user just put tissues in their cart. So this is very helpful. It allows you to leave that page, go find some other item, and then add it to your accumulating cart. Now, the problem arises when you go to or when people choose to use that data in ways you would not want them to. For instance, somebody might take that information that you were wanting tissues and then sell it to a third party. And that third party then will target you and try to sell you tissues. Of course, you can continue on in this domino effect. If they know you need tissues, then maybe they think that you're sick. And then they start to get a picture. Right or wrong, it is your choice whether to share cookies or not. Now, let me take you over to my computer and I will show you how you make that choice. I am working off of a Chromebook as usual, since most of our students use the Chromebooks. However, these settings that I'm going to change can be found on pretty much any device. So to find the settings or setting that applies to cookies, we're going to head on down to the lower left hand of your screen, click on the time, click on the cog as shown, and we're going to type into here cookie. And what pops up is a long list of items which pertain to privacy. As you can see here, privacy and security. Now, if you want to, I would recommend you take a minute and read through all of these things. And if you have any questions, Google them or, ask me. I'm no expert on the subject, but I can certainly try to help you. We are, in this video, concerned with the subsection, if you will, called site settings. So I'm going to click on site settings, and then here the cookies. So we're going to head into cookies. And right at the top here, we have the option allow sites to save and read cookie data. Now, they recommend that you leave it on so that you're not constantly having to say yes to websites. Or really what I should say is that this prevents any website from getting cookies. Now let me show you how that affects your browser. So you can see here that I've found some sort of watch that I want to purchase, and I'm not signed into Amazon. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Add to Cart. And right away you can see that it doesn't look quite right. And I assume that Amazon is using some dated HTML to service this request, since it is unusual, definitely unusual. And so here we can click continue, and it just doesn't add it to the cart because they can't keep track of that. If I, however, head back over to settings and allow the site to track cookies and click continue, you can see that there's actually one in the cart now, and it can keep track. It can keep track of the things that I have added to the cart. Obviously, this is not something that we would really want. However, if there was a website that you certainly did not want to track your information or you're concerned about, you could flip that setting on. If you're not buying anything on the web, if you don't intend to buy anything on the web, then you can click turn off cookies. There are a lot of other settings that are useful besides shopping that can be tracked, but in this case, that's just the scenario. So it's case by case, it may or may not work. The other thing is websites will occasionally ask you permission to track cookies. And if you know on that website you're just going on there to read something, to get some sort of information, I would say no. I would not allow them to track your cookies because there's no benefit to you. There's only a disadvantage, and more than likely, if they're asking, that means that they're using it for something else. And so that's what I would recommend. And that is how digital cookies affect your waistband. Thanks for watching.